this fifth Express Logistics and Supply Chain Conclave, which has been organized by Kamikaze and their indefatigable Mr. Harish Bhatia. Now the Express Logistics and Supply Chain Conclave has developed the reputation of being the major express industry conference in the country. Today's conclave for this year has a very specific dimension to it, which we think will be of great interest and a benefit to you, but particularly on the customer side, to hear what are the best practices in the industry. We also have some very distinguished speakers from abroad. I need only mention Alan Waller, who will be doing the keynote address. He's the VP Supply Chain Innovation of Solving FSO.
We come here to share knowledge. We have textbooks, we have education and training, and we have consultants, we have logistics service providers, software houses. We know what best practice is. The challenge is turning that best practice into reality. We have to see supply chain as a value-added business process, where the supply chain director isn't just responsible for transport, warehousing, outsourcing of logistics operations, but is also responsible for getting into the boardroom the concepts of joined-up thinking between the functions within an organization and the partners that that organization needs to work with to be successful in the marketplace. The supply chain director has the ability and is given the responsibility to act as the leader of the orchestra, to actually bring together the trombones and the violins and the horn, to actually play a tune where everybody is playing to the right timing and playing the right notes.
Let's now move on to the CEO's roundtable on the topic, Supply Chain Agenda, a Boardroom Perspective. We already have our esteemed panel members right over here. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, now I request the moderator of the session, Mr. Michael, to kindly take over from here.
The topic of this panel is Supply Chain Agenda, a Boardroom Perspective. And I think with the representation on this panel, we have the opportunity to understand not only the boardroom perspective of their organizations, which are primarily logistics service providers, but also of their clients and the manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers of the world. So the first question that I have is, based on the economic turmoil that we're seeing around the world, in particular in North America and in Europe, we're seeing economic cycles happen more rapidly and with less predictability. How are these cycles, the speed and the direction of economic cycles impacting supply chains in India?
The bigger challenge today, I would say, is going to be considering the last 6 months turmoil in India, how a company is going to adjust to that going forward. Because although it's not a crisis situation, there are some signals which are reflecting areas which needs to be looked at, planned, and be prepared in the next 3 to 6 months' time to overcome that. The last 6 months have been most difficult for India in terms of the highest inflation rate, the highest interest rate, the highest corruption rate. The dollar has been as the highest over the last few weeks. So the trends currently are difficult.
The domestic demand drives manufacturing focus in India, brings a lot of foreign players, brings investments, gives scale for businesses to become manufacturing bases for India and also for supplying the key markets of the world, which is what we've seen over the last 7 or 8 years. With the scale, what will also happen, and it's happening in many cases, it forces government to bring in regulatory and opening up of the regulatory framework, enable business more, the creation of FTWZs, etc. And therefore, with going into the future, you will also find that the manufacturing base and the scale also gives opportunity for you to be a supply chain base.
I think if we, an express logistics company, were to think about what's going on in the minds of directors in their boardroom, building an effective supply chain organization in a large organization involves, of course, first starting with your market and knowing what your customers want, and then designing your supply chain to meet those requirements.
Now, with inflation, with many other things, cost of people is going up. Cost of everything else is also going up. So therefore, what do you need? You need to fall back on technology. You need to get automation in. You need to get advanced levels of, from an Indian perspective, then in the evolved economies, in the evolved supply chain locations, those things are probably already happening. But from an Indian perspective, you need to focus on those things.
When you look from the logistic point of view in India, we are definitely in a very good phase. We are growing at 19%, I think one of the highest logistic growth what we have. But attached to that, we also have the highest logistic cost. When you look into 2007 logistics performance index globally, we were at 39th position in 155 countries. And when you look into 2010 reports, we are at 47th position. So we are actually going down when we talk about the overall logistic performance, which includes all areas when they calculate this index. But we can definitely look into other areas like bringing innovation into IT systems, which is within our environment, and that will be the stepping stone to move forward into the overall logistics performance, what we talk about.
CEOs being measured on supply chain performance, I would like it to be a scorecard item where the board that they report to, where they're evaluated about the efficiency of their supply chains. I would also like them to endorse, when providers come to see them, to have serious discussions about potential needs, that they allow those providers to move across their political landscape and not to confine discussions with logistics or supply chain managers or directors, but to have access to business strategy, to their finance people, up to their marketing people, to really understand the dynamics of that organization so that provider can present and provide a credible solution based on real, actual, current and future needs.
In India, there are hundreds of warehouses being built, and when that comes in, the hubbing, sub-hubbing model is going to make a lot of them meaningless facilities. So we need to think about really doing supply chain, really evolving, and I think the economic crisis takes Asia to a faster leadership role. And in spite of the crisis, with 850 malls being built in India, with major evolution of the consumer market being the 5th largest retail market in another 4.5 years, India needs to be much bolder in terms of how we look at supply chain and not logistics.
For Indian industry now, I think they must focus on these areas.
A normal commercial vehicle in India moves at 20 miles an hour, but when you compare with the global scenario, it moves at 60 miles an hour.
Presented by Samsung Galaxy Tab 750. It's time to tab. In association with GE Imagination at Work and Sony Bravia LED TV, powered by X Reality.
जब डिटेल्स दिखती हैं तो सब एंटरटेनिंग हो जाता है। एयरटेल डिजिटल टीवी HD दिखाए हर डिटेल।
हर फ्रेंड जरूरी है यार।
Gifts are on us. Celebrate the biggest Diwali. Play the big item bomb. And win loads of exciting prizes. Only on 92.7 Big FM. Daily 8 to 11 a.m.
Optimus 3D, keeper of the third dimension.
Optimus 2X, the one that's equal to many. Optimus Pro, towers above all. Optimus Black outshines the sun. LG Optimus. Life's good when your phone isn't just smart, it's genius. Fastest on Reliance 3G with 100% money-back plans.
आपने इस आदमी को पहले कभी देखा है?
हाँ देखा है, 27 दिसंबर को करीबन 7:30 बजे देखा है।
Are you sure?
हाँ जज साहब, मुझे साफ साफ याद है, उस दिन उन्होंने ब्लू कलर की शर्ट पहनी थी, जेब में 2 पेन थे, गले में गोल्ड प्लेटेड चेन थी, चेन में एक लॉकेट था, लॉकेट में से घुंघराले बालों वाली लड़की की फोटो थी, उसके राइट कान के पीछे काला तिल था, इन्होंने HMT की घड़ी
27 दिसंबर के मोबाइल रिकॉर्ड के मुताबिक आप दिल्ली में थे ही नहीं, तो आपने क्या इन्हें सपने में देखा?
टीवी पे। मैं कोलकाता में अपने घर पे बैठ के मैच देख रहा था और ये दिल्ली में फिरोज शाह कोटला स्टेडियम में 10th रो में, राइट?
टाटा स्काई के हाई डेफिनेशन क्लैरिटी वाले HD बॉक्स में टीवी देखने वालों को वो दिखता है जो औरों को नहीं। HD लगा डाला तो लाइफ और भी चिंगा लाला।
We have a few minutes left to open it up to questions to the audience.
Where do we see ourselves on air cargo? How do we compare ourselves on cargo flights from other developed markets?
If you see in the last 1.5 years' time, we have had 3 companies trying to incorporate a cargo aircraft into the business model and not being able to succeed.
Yes.
Now, let's understand, running an airline is a totally different ball game from a cargo versus a passenger perspective. Running only a cargo airline, unless you have got some other products built into it, is not cost permissive.
I know there are lots of questions that weren't answered, but we're short on time, and I'm sure our esteemed panel would be happy to have a few side conversations afterwards. So please join me in a round of applause for our panelists.
I think ELSC has been positioning itself very well in regards to the supply chain event, basically bringing in a lot of latest thought processes to do with SCM and what's happening globally and how it can be adapted to the Indian situation. So to that extent, SCM has been doing a fantastic job for the last 5 years.
This is a key word now in the boardroom, and this is the only subject left for Indian industry now, when I think they must focus on these areas. Because marketing is done, the quality is definitely essential, and that is done already. But how Indian industry can be competitive, I think, in my opinion, the supply chain will be the differentiator for the future years to come.
Instead of going up the ladder, we are actually going down the ladder when you compare with consecutive years. Yeah? Today we rank around at the rate of 47. In 2007 we were 39. So as I said, is that it's a tall order. We need to have a lot of things to do to come into the global scenario. One is definitely the government has to take the whole thing very seriously. The infrastructure, the policy, especially the policy when you look into it, they have to have the willpower to drive aggressive policy to make things work. When you look into infrastructure, we have to look into all the areas of infrastructure. Just to give you an example, like a normal commercial vehicle in India moves at 20 miles an hour, but when you compare with the global scenario, it moves at 60 miles an hour. So that's how you compare apples to apples.
I think the best is yet to come. As I see it, there's a lot of talk about how the weight in the global economy is shifting towards Asia, and India has a key role as this shift continues to happen. I think India is a market which has got huge domestic demand. The domestic demand and the strength of strong demand in the country is bringing a lot of global players into India. So the scale which domestic demand gives is going to give everybody the scale to become a manufacturing base. So that will transform the supply chain of manufacturers and businesses in almost every sector.
Giveaways to, first of all, the logistics service providers is that they have to become more and more aware of what their customer companies are seeking in today's very difficult environment. customers on the export and import side are facing a world that is sliding into global recession, or that certainly isn't growing very rapidly, and therefore they are looking for opportunities to reduce their costs.
I think that's where we need to work together to actually make sure that the messages that are put over in events like this are taken on board by the captains and leaders of industry and are taken through into practice. And I think that's a challenge in terms of leadership development, in terms of supply chain in the boardroom, in terms of qualifications, in terms of support to make the vision into a reality.
FMCG, I believe, is one of the fastest growing industry in this country, and it's one of the focus sectors for any logistics service provider. The same is true for Drive. We thought it would be a good opportunity to get people who matter in the FMCG industry to sit together and look at the challenges at hand and work out answers together.
Different sectors are following different supply chain strategies, especially with the world now becoming a small place, supply chains becoming global. Fluctuations in currencies now being commonplace, and imports versus domestic production changing by the day depending on currency fluctuations, as well as a lot of categories which earlier need not have had a very responsive or agile supply chain, but now needing a very agile supply chain, especially in the telecom, electronics, CDNE sector. Furthermore, with electronic commerce coming in, internet commerce coming in, digital commerce coming in, it is high time that supply chains become more and more responsive, agile and flexible.
The ELSA Face of the Year Award.
The winner is
Presented by Samsung Galaxy Tab 750. It's time to tab. In association with GE Imagination at Work and Sony Bravia LED TV, powered by X Reality.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. It knows when a room is empty. It senses the level of activity. It even detects presence.
Katrina, how did you know?
Introducing the new Panasonic Inverter AC with EcoNavi. Real star.
Real brains.
Panasonic. Ideas for life.
She's got the looks. She's got the brains. She makes your heart skip. Who is she? India's glam diva. Coming soon. Only on Love. If you don't get Big CBS Love, SMS Love to 55454.
Elevating tomorrow's generation with today's technological reforms. We bring representatives from the academies and civil societies to provide innovative and experiential solutions to existing challenges. The Bloomberg UTV Conference on integrating technology, transforming education at these times. Only on Bloomberg UTV.
Solutions partner Dell and Intel. Thought leadership partner Nexus Education. Learning partner Educom. Solutions partner HCL DigiSchool. EduRite. Next Education. Strategic partner Microsoft. Innovation partner N Computing. Partnered by SBF. Supported by a Bloomberg UTV Pulse initiative.
Tourism has become the top agenda of the central government.
We have to do something to attract domestic and foreign tourists to our country's tourism crisis.
I don't expect the government to come and dole out money. All we're saying is that the government has got to facilitate a process.
Thomas Cook, India Centre of Learning presents Disha. At these times.
Partnered by Egypt Tourism Board, Marriott Hotels, Jet Airways, Print Media Partner, Trav Talk.
life cover and wealth creation has involved more the asset, lesser the life cover.
When you're looking at investments and trying to maximize returns, you should at least start looking at a hybrid option.
Ideally, keep your capital, because again, you would want your capital to come back to same investment so that when market starts growing up, the capital starts appreciating.
Reliance Mutual Fund and Bloomberg UTV present I, the Investor. At these times. Presented by Reliance Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
In association with Nebula, 18-karat solid gold watches from Titan. The stunning new Corolla Altis. Radio partner Big 92.7 FM. Print partner Nai Dunya. Outdoor partner Pioneer. A Bloomberg UTV Pulse initiative.
Well, they always say that victory isn't about wins or losses. It's defined by the effort. If you can truthfully say that, yes, I put in my best and I gave all that I had, then you truly are a winner. So on that note, I'm your host, welcoming you to this beautiful evening once again. And the awards are presented by the Future Supply Chains and conceived and managed by the Kamikaze B2B Media. Let's start with the first set of awards, and the first category being Best Air Express Provider of the Year, Domestic.
The winner is Blue Dart Express Limited.
Really a testimony of our customers on the faith which we really deliver in terms of our services, and we are really proud that year after year we are getting this recognition, and really the credit goes to our entire set of 7,000 people who are slogging day in, day out.
All right, so on that thunderous note, let's proceed to the next category, which is the Best Express Provider of the Year, International.
The winner is DHL Express Private Limited.
I think it just shows that our customers love us and they're with us, and their support is what makes us continue to go strong. And I'm very happy for our team because this is a testimony of what results they produce.
We now proceed to the next category, which is Best Logistics Provider of the Year, Road. And the winner is...
The joint winners are Safeway Express Private Limited and GATI Limited, GATI.
Great show year and year after. This is becoming a industry show and much more matured this time, I can see.
While we proceed to the next set of awards, the first category in this set of awards is the Best Logistics Service Provider of the Year, Sea Freight.
The award goes to Kunidagal.
And now let's hear for the Emerging Rail Operator of the Year.
The winner is Arshia Rail Infrastructure Limited.
Congratulations to your team, Mr. Pavanek. It's time to take a look at the Best Freight Forwarder of the Year. And the winner is...
Shankar Private Limited.
You feel great whenever you get an award. We need to be more responsible to the trade where we work in, and we promise to deliver more and more.
The next category of award is the Best Air Cargo Carrier of the Year.
Player of the Year is
FedEx Express.
The next category is the best 3PL of the year. And the winner is
Drive India Enterprise Solutions Limited.
Emotion. It's a tough job, and I think every day is a test that we pass. So at the end of it, when we get certification like this and an award like this, it definitely feels wonderful.
In the first set of awards that we had given away, for the Best Logistics Provider of the Year Road, sharing the award with Safe Express Private Limited was also Gati Limited. So ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause for Ms. Chitra Shinde, COO, Gati Limited. The next category, ladies and gentlemen, is Oil and Gas Supply Chain Excellence Award. And the winner is
Indian Oil Corporation Limited.
We have won this award on the fourth time in a row, and it's all because of our team efforts, team of supply chain officers across the country.
Let's proceed to the next set of awards. Now, this is the last category of awards. The first category is the ELSA Face of the Year Award.
The award goes to Mr. Ajay Chopra, Chief Executive Officer, Drive Enterprise.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the individual categories. So, yes, the ELSC CEO of the Year.
And the award goes to Kenneth Cole, Vice President, India FedEx Express.
On behalf of Mr. Kenneth Cole, we have with us Ms. Elizabeth Finch, the Vice President Sales, to receive the award. The next category is the Exemplary Leader Award.
It's none other than Anshuman Singh, Managing Director and Chief Executive, Supply Chain.
These awards are very, very satisfying to most of the companies who receive it, and also prompts them, eggs them to do it better every year.
Yes, I'll have to give the surprise out. We also have another winner for the Exemplary Leader Award. Let's hear it from Mr. Percy Avari.
It was a big experiment we did with Shop and Ship, going B2C, and the fact that people have started recognizing it means the product is doing well.
This is the last category of award, the Lifetime Achievement Award.
The award goes to Mr. Malcolm Montario.
The winner of the Lifetime Achievement Award.
You know, it's been a journey of almost 25 years. And, you know, to be recognized in this manner, I think the credit goes to the entire team at DHL and Blue Dart. I learned a lot from all of them. I enjoyed my working. And we did many things to simplify our customers' lives. So it's thrilled. I'm excited.
So I'm feeling absolutely thrilled. And I feel that this will act as a great motivation for us to keep working very hard in the near future and to keep achieving many, many more milestones as far as achieving excellence is concerned.
We've got a lot of customers now, almost 250 plus, and it's just the credibility and trust that we built with them and just their support overall over the last 3 years that's enabled us to win this award.